The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I am your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Well, good morning, Princess.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Medicated, as you mentioned before the show.
I know. I'd like to say I'm al natural,
but I'm not.
Right,
but no. That's not.
The doctor says no, don't go that way. He says take one of these every day.
Wouldn't be prudent
Your
at this juncture.
Your ADD needs to stay in check.
If we get the right balance of these 18 medications before you know it, you'll be a functional member of society.
Hey,
again.
don't forget, we have a new client that's a neurologist.
She's going to put you under a microphone.
She was in a car with me like a whole day
glass.
this week,
yeah.
and she saw no problem with me.
She wrote a script for you before she got out of the car, didn't she?
No, I'm teasing. I'm not teasing about the client, but...
Seriously, I'm not.
Seriously, she thinks I'm normal. Well, as normal can get.
Exactly, yeah.
I liked it. I liked that I had time to evaluate myself while looking at houses this week.
Good to know. And you got a referral out of it too, I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. To another
to more Medicaid? No,
another medical professional, right? As always good. As always it's always good to have my special guest host so early this beautiful Sunday morning.
Good morning.
It's supposed to be warm today.
Well, it kind of can't decide, it seems, all week. Like, one day it's hot, the next day it's cold, then it's raining, then it's cool
Beginning
again.
of the week, windy.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Well,
I slept with my windows open. I end up, like, all congested in the morning, but I'm hot in the evening. I'm like, whatever. Yeah. Figure it out.
High of 85 yesterday. Supposed to be high of, like, 88 today. Something like
I'll
that.
be sweating now. So make up your mind. I don't know what to wear every day.
There you go. Michelle Pettis-Cavalli in the studio with me. Thanks so much.
It took you that long to say my name?
Well,
wow, that's quite an intro I got
Your
there.
reputation precedes.
I'm sure it does.
The Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market, so we can help bring you
back home. You like that?
Back home. You did. Okay, don't say it like a stalker, okay? Nobody's going to want you to bring them back home.
I'm taking you home.
Yeah, there you go. Well, on today's show, are home prices rising too fast? That's a little scary thought.
Well, I've been thinking it a little while.
You have?
Yeah, it is, and it scares me every day. But
kind of feels like they are.
Well, it kind of feels like they are, and I think we, as agents and the public, need to be cautious. We need to be watching. We need to be evaluating our market as we are involved in it.
And what are the top 10 markets for investors to buy in? Where can you get the biggest bang for your buck?
I hope we're not on it. I hope they go elsewhere. Because sometimes they make it hard.
Well, that's a double-edged sword right there.
Yeah, it is.
And there's a growing segment of buyers out there nationally, female baby boomers. We're going to talk more about that.
Go sisters.
Underwater homeowners, there's not so many of them nationally.
Decline nationwide.
Yeah.
So did they just sink under the water? Did they drown?
Did they pass away? Did they move out of the United States? Well, we're going to talk about that in greater detail. And dear seller, letters are back in the home buying process.
Seen them. Oh, wow.
It's like a Dear Santa letter.
Yeah. Dear Santa, please.
Is it any surprise that banks are not complying with the mortgage settlement, a recent survey finds? And homeowners insurance has been on the rise. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle and myself share with you on our show, we'd love to hear from you. It all starts with one phone call. That's a phone call from you. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get input from you. We'd love to hear your story. You can also go to our website and listen to past shows of the Real Estate Radio Network by going to our website at fresnohomes.com. You can also search for Your Next Home on our website as well. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime, not just during the show, after the show as well. We'd love to hear from you. Well, you heard Michelle and myself mention Press 4 and Press 4 keywords. Press 4 is for all those times that you're away from your home. It's a neat little app that you can download on your smartphone. Go to the Press 4 website. That's PRESS, the number 4.com, or go to your app store, whether it's Android or iPhone. Follow the easy setup instructions, and before you know it, it's a free service, number one. Before you know it, we'll be sharing timely and accurate information about your local real estate market with you right on your smartphone. Let's take a look at today's hot property. Today's hot property is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Whether it's residential, multifamily, or commercial, use Press 4 keywords, Perfect Home Inspections. Or you can call Jerry Schooley today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Well, this hot property is 1725 West San Miguel Avenue, Fresno, California, 93711. The property is located on the southeast corner of West and Barstow. It is an amazing property, a state-sized lot. Property was appraised at $270,000. This is a HUD home, and all that means is the HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, is the legal owner of the property. The previous owners unfortunately lost the property to the process of foreclosure. Their lender filed a claim with HUD. HUD took the property back and is now marketing it as a HUD home. This 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,445 square foot ranch-style home was built in 1965 and has been updated. It is eligible for 203K financing.
Is it a corner lot?
Yeah, it is a corner lot.
It looks like a
Yep.
corner lot.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Eligible for 203K financing, as well as eligible for FHA financing. Eligible only to owner-occupants during the first 30 days. If you'd like more information about today's hot property, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ Hot Property.
And we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, top stories in Fresno County again. Top story is inventory, 1,046 active listings.
I'm just glad the top story isn't, client strangles her realtor for not getting her house in the last 3 months. Because
local news, right?
Clients are frustrated. Yeah, clients are very frustrated out there. There's just not enough for them to even pre-screen.
What kind of frustrations have you seen as far as, when you say frustrated period, but has there been anything that's set a particular client off that you've seen?
I think one thing that agents out there should be aware of, that if their website is feeding information that's inaccurate, for instance, if it's not showing pending or not showing backup when the house is no longer available, that feeds the fire of frustration for buyers. So I love that our website only shows them active, available homes, because a lot of websites out there, that isn't the case.
And if the status does change, they're able to see the update as far as the status is concerned. Well, and the most important thing is you want to be efficient as far as your search is concerned. You don't want to go looking for stuff that really isn't available.
But I think what consumers have to continue to realize is that what your agent has is everything that's out on the public market is what they're sharing with you.
Yeah.
So if you're on a website and you have no affiliation with that website, don't expect to get the same kind of fluid, accurate information. You don't know what the rules and how that site is set up. So whether it's Trulia, whether it's another company's website, whatever, just be aware. It's only as good as the information they post.
Yeah, and keep in mind, if you are a consumer, that those websites utilize that information to, and I don't want to say bait you, but they utilize they utilize that information to create interest so that you will contact them, and they in turn sell those leads to real estate professionals.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Well, we don't do that, but
we don't sell leads.
Bet you they didn't know that they do that.
Oh, well, go to our website because you're going to get accurate information. We don't sell your leads.
REO, FresnoHomes.com.
Yeah.
Our Home prices rising too fast, Michelle. Well, some housing analysts are concerned that the sudden rise in home prices could make homes more unaffordable. First time we've heard that in a number of years. Again, if the price increases outpace income growth. Now, we talked about that, or that was a huge concern 2005, 2006, until the housing market really crashed in 2007. We were always so concerned here in the Central Valley, and there were many that said, this is far outpaced the median income here in the Central Valley in the years of 2005, 6, and early 2007 to the point where it was so unrealistic for a single family to buy a 1,500 square foot home because it was priced at $300,000. It just didn't make sense.
And that's what pushed the market to the extreme as far as the lending side, because they became very creative in order to achieve those buyers' mortgages.
Right. But they had been creative for quite some time. It just so happened that they were able to continue their creativeness
for as long as they did.
Exactly. Average housing costs for home buyers who took out a mortgage were around 22.5% of average incomes, according to John Burns Real Estate Consulting. Now, that number was down from 38.5% in 2006.
Wow.
Interesting, isn't it? Almost half the peak of the housing bubble. The historic average is right around 33%.
And is that, I'm assuming those would be non-stated loans.
Yeah, no. Stated income was not factored into this particular study.
Because I'm thinking that was more like 150% of their actual income on stated loans. But nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, borrowers have seen their purchasing power rise by around 33% over the past 4 years due to low interest rates, the Wall Street Journal reported. Now, for example, a borrower can make a $1,000 monthly mortgage payment and qualify for a $222,000 mortgage. Now, keep in mind that's principal and interest at today's low interest rates compared to 2008 when they'd likely qualify for $165,000 mortgage when rates were around 6.1%, nearly double what we're seeing today.
And I think that's really, really key. If those powers that be, yo, Ben, are you listening? If the interest, the pricing of the home, and folks' debt are the three things that make this market flow and roll correctly.
Right.
And when you start creating financing that's creative to avoid one of those obstacles,
you're manipulating the market.
Manipulating the market. And so I'm just going to holler out to Ben. Ben, did you hear that? Let's make sure that we're working
Johnny,
on
get
interest,
Ben Bernanke on line one,
pricing,
would you please, buddy?
and people's debt.
Johnny's on it.
Okay, good. Because the problem, well, and I'm getting on my soapbox again a little bit, but the issue in today's market is they're taking interest, pricing of the homes, and the debt into consideration. And when we saw everything tighten up so strictly, it was because they were taking those three things for face value as they are without any excuses. So my concern is always that when you stop looking at those three things and you start making excuses and trying to finagle people into homes, we end up with a problem.
Yeah, sure.
So
I was going to say also, did you hear recently that they're going to make mortgage interest rates a protected class?
Oh, my God. Don't get me started. Your protected classes.
That's a long-running joke here on the show. Yeah, exactly.
Mercy.
Who next is going to be a protected class? Well, if you're an investor, what are the top 10 markets?
Speaking of protected classes.
Oh, stop. No.
I'm teasing.
Whoa.
I'm teasing.
What are the top 10 markets for investors nationally? Well, Realty Track recently released a study revealing some of the best markets for highest returns when becoming a residential landlord of single-family homes. The following 10 markets emerged on the top of the list. Number 1, Memphis, Tennessee, with a median sell price for a 3-bedroom home of $605. Average rent for that 3-bedroom home was $1,047.
And what's the dental bill when you can't when you got no teeth?
When you don't have any teeth, the dental bill's not very big.
Okay, so I like this. I like this report you found because it's on landlords versus flipping, which I think we see a lot of. We see a lot of both.
Oh, of course.
But I like that it's giving you your ROI right there. For rent is $1,047.
And ROI, explain to our listeners, return on investment.
I'm sorry.
Roy,
your ROI is your return on investment. I'm going to invest $72,000, and in a conventional mortgage, let's what do we think? What are we thinking? $600.
Oh, as far as the price?
$600 with insurance and taxes and the whole shebang,
Yeah.
maybe. So $600 and your return on investment's $1,047.
So in this illustration, when we're talking about the lowest median sales price versus the greatest return on your investment, that's the best ROI.
Return on investment.
There you go. Yes.
It's a $600. It's a $400 return on your investment.
And it's interesting. Some of these markets that you're going to see, as far as the best or the best return on investments, are also those markets that were heavily hit as far as the foreclosure crisis was concerned.
Right.
Saginaw, Michigan, obviously Michigan, a hotbed as far as foreclosure activity is concerned. Median sales price $63,240, while the average rent was $907. Toledo, Ohio, number 3. Ocala, Florida, number 4. Number 5, Las Vegas.
Now that one I find interesting.
Surprising.
No.
With all the foreclosures that we saw or that we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years in Las Vegas, wow. 15 at median sales price, $115,000.
But look at the rents.
Rents. $1,575.
That's outrageous.
Right on.
You better be buying if you live in Vegas.
Actually, we better be buying in
that's
Vegas.
That's crazy because to rent there, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That just makes no sense.
Yep. Let's see here. Palm Bay, Florida, number 6. Atlanta, Georgia, where last time we looked, there was 40,000.
Where the weeping willows flow and
it was a huge number of current active listings.
Charlotte visits.
Number 8, Jacksonville, Florida. Number 9, Deltona, Florida. Interesting.
Springfield, Missouri was the last.
Yeah, exactly.
$75,000. Wow. You know, it really opens your eyes to the different pricing around the country. It really does.
Well,
because we're so much higher here in
our
California.
average sales price in Fresno County is about $185,000.
Makes me kind of want to move. Just saying.
My wife says the same thing, let me tell you. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle or myself share with you here on our show, or you just like to throw in your 2 cents, it all starts with a call, and that's a call from you. Give us a call, 800-979-3958. Did I mention any time? 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, shop for your new home at REO, FresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, underwater homeowners decline nationwide, a report says. And banks aren't really complying with the mortgage settlement survey finds. And did you also know that homeowners insurance has been on the rise? Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at Pete'sSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
Listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, we mentioned there's a growing segment of buyers out there in the market, and guess who they are? It's female baby boomers.
And I just want to mention,
yeah,
they are not a protected class. And they've done it all on their own. You go, ladies.
You go, girl.
You call me. We'll hook up. We'll get you taken care of.
Yes.
Awesome.
Single women make up the second largest segment of home purchasers. 1 out of every 5 home purchases by a single woman.
Because when we become single, if we haven't been before, we get our stuff together.
You are, oh wow, you are woman.
I am woman, hear me roar.
Oh,
amen, bust up.
And Dear Seller letters are back in the home buying process.
Yeah, it doesn't say Dear John.
No,
it says,
no.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we love your home.
And we're making a pitch. We're telling you a little bit about our story.
And we want to raise our family in your home and
tell us why.
Garden in your backyard, and you have the sweetest neighbors, and my children would just love to play in this cul-de-sac with their friends. Yeah, it goes on and on. I've gotten a few.
Yeah.
It doesn't help in a short sale situation, I just want to say.
Hey,
now, if it's a traditional sale, it might. I will tell you, I lost a bid this week to a great little family home. Older woman was selling the home with her agent, and we had a family wanting to move in. And you know what the response was? We're picking one of the cash buyers. So you know darn well it probably isn't a little family moving in. And maybe one of these letters would have changed the woman who was selling the house's mind. I don't know.
It's not a foregone conclusion that any agent is going to, in other words, that a letter like this is going to fall on a listing agent in the right way.
I didn't write one. I'll admit it.
Let me just say, it can't hurt. And all we're talking about is it's kind of a love letter to the seller.
It's getting to know them.
Telling them their story about why they'd like, what they like about their home and what they'd like to,
how they'd like to utilize them.
Exactly.
And it's a softening. It's a softening. I mean, you don't want to sell your, 1965 Mustang all, teed up.
Especially if you
obnoxious little teenager who wants to just drive the heck out of it. You want to sell it to the guy who really appreciates all the time and energy you put into it.
Exactly. An emotional attachment. Yeah. And that's where I think it would work to a greater extent.
Pulling on the heartstrings.
Exactly. Did you also know that there's some agents out there that are sending their offers in with an accompanying video? In other words, they've taken the time to actually, to kind of highlight their offer. They're wanting to make sure they put a personal touch as opposed to just the cover letter. You watch.
I'm going to send a link. Please key into this link for my clients.
It's going to take
letter
you to
on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Because why do one for each home that you make an offer?
Exactly. Underwater homes decline nationwide.
Did they drown? Did they sink?
Didn't.
What happened?
They didn't.
The Titanic?
They climbed out of the pond.
Oh, well,
fewer borrowers, nationwide owe more on their mortgages than their homes are worth, providing a boost to the housing recovery, according to a new report. Roughly 200,000 borrowers escaped their negative their negative equity. Oh, another call into the show.
I am so sorry. I usually quiet them until we're done.
Overall, the nation's negative equity fell. You're not going to get that call? You're speechless for once. Overall, the nation's negative equity fell from $670 billion in the third quarter of this last year to $628 billion at the end of last year, according to CoreLogic, based in Irvine.
You had my mind here. I can't answer a call when I'm in the middle of this, because my thought on that is it is boosting housing recovery as far as people are not upside down to the same degree.
As much.
But it's also prolonging people moving forward with house sales, because now they feel like, next week I might be above water.
It
might only take a week.
And see.
So now we have less houses on the market. So be aware. If your life is transitioning, roll with it.
Yeah.
consider the options. If your kids are graduating and moving off to college, it's okay to start looking for that change.
And
of
that
life.
brings up
that helps the economy keep
go
moving.
with the flow. Exactly.
That's right.
Nationwide, 10.4 million homes still in negative equity, or 21.5% of all homes with a mortgage. And it kind of helps to perpetuate that analysis paralysis. If you haven't sat down with a professional to do a competitive market analysis to see exactly where you're at, or to get an idea of where you're at right at the moment, it's going to keep you stuck.
You're just going to sit there and not make a move that could be in your best interest.
Exactly. Is it any wonder banks are not complying with mortgage settlement? A recent survey finds 5 major banks continue to pursue foreclosure against borrowers seeking loan modifications and fail to provide a single point of contact, an advocacy group claims.
Ben, are you listening? You still have a few things to fix here, buddy.
Yeah, I when they said, and let's talk about it real quick.
And this is actually California, so I shouldn't be calling for Ben. I should be calling for Jerry.
Jerry. He's in China. Okay.
Oh Lord, like that's helping us. Okay,
but Gavin Newsom, he's still here, so he could be listening.
Political folks.
Yeah,
they're not playing by the rules you outlined. They need to be grounded.
Yeah,
put them in timeout. Something. Since you won't put them in jail, put them in timeout. Something.
What the law was intended to do was to ensure that California residents did not weren't trying to modify their loan, and also had their property sent to the courthouse steps
at the same time. So the goal was to slow it down on the foreclosure side so that we could do modifications, short sales.
And make it more equitable for the consumer.
And make it more fair for consumers,
right.
Or at least an easier process than we had. So politicians, please hear them. Hear the cry from the consumers.
And it was also intended to create one point of contact as far as the consumer is concerned. And in this article,
and
it
BIM
states
refuses to participate, so now we've got
I'm
to
telling
find
you
some
right
others.
now, it says very little, if ever, was there a single point of contact as far as their loan was concerned.
I will tell you, I dealt with Ceteris recently.
Yes.
Who was the servicer for, I can't remember which bank off the top of my head. And they did assign one person, and I was quite impressed. It was Bank of America. And then when that person had to leave for a different position, they immediately contacted us and assigned a new person. I was quite impressed with that one. So
I want to
give credit where credit is due.
Bank of America being one of the 5 greatest offenders that was named in that 49 states, $26 billion settlement. They're under a little greater scrutiny right at the moment.
I don't really give the credit to Bank of America.
You don't?
I give it to Ceteris.
Oh, okay.
For doing what they're supposed to do.
Good.
Honestly, because Bank of America just assigns it to them and says, take care of it. We don't want to think about it right now.
Take care of our problem.
Take care of it. Fix it for me.
Well, did you also know that homeowners insurance rates have risen 69% over the past decade, now averaging roughly about $1,000 a year? But as rates rise, homeowners are finding their coverage hasn't quite kept pace. In fact, some insurance companies have added new restrictions or increased deductibles in a report recently by CNN.
Interesting.
Is it any...
we see so many houses that have deficiencies and have had such vandalism and whatnot out there in the marketplace. It doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, I'm thinking, how does that affect the insurance companies? Because no one's really claiming it, are they?
Well,
the person who moved out for foreclosure didn't claim it, most likely.
No.
The person moving in isn't claiming it. It's all inclusive in the transaction, if anything. But I find it interesting because I'm wondering why.
A homeowner that actually resides in the property, it's called exclusions, as far as exclusions from the policy. What's included and what's not. What's coming on my burger and what's not. And unfortunately, what they've done is, over time, they've excluded coverage for certain acts or for certain things.
So, for instance... electrical fires.
Yeah.
There may be a higher cost now because they see more of them based on the damage and vandalism.
Don't think that the statistical data doesn't point to certain areas that says, we need to, we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to do a hodgepodge and a statistical analysis.
Risk.
Exactly. What is.
Foreclosures cause risk is what they're assigning, I'm assuming.
Very true. Also, scant relief in foreclosure payouts. Well,
scant.
Scant.
I had to clarify.
That means very little.
I got
or hardly anything.
I learned that.
You did?
It's not a word I hear often.
No. Well, the vast majority of borrowers being compensated for mortgage-related abuses will get $1,000 or less per person. A sobering idea.
Sobering, yeah. That's sobering, all right.
But let me just share something with you. This week I spoke with a consumer that said that he had actually been approached by the former servicer of properties that he had actually lost to foreclosure. And guess what? One of them, he just received a check for $6,000 this week for just one of the properties.
And he has multiple properties?
And he had multiple properties that he lost to foreclosure. And he has received multiple checks. The most recent being $6,000 as a part of a payout or a settlement. Yeah, I was kind of curious. The interesting thing, though, is before the first of the year, he actually said he received something in the mail, had to respond by a certain date of by a certain time. What about all those folks that moved, or after they lost their house, they weren't able to locate them or track them down? So what happens to those folks?
Well, isn't it that 1-800 call your state? Your money's sitting in some some lost closet. The state of California.
Somewhere.
We need your Social Security, date of birth, and shoe size in order to provide you with these funds.
It's like that commercial. I saw it actually this morning on TV when I was getting ready to come into the studio, and some guy sits down next to this guy in this like diner and says, "I just want you to know that you've been awarded, or I am the attorney for this particular estate, and in order for me to transfer the monies, of course we would like some of it, but we're willing to pay you for helping us, and we'd like your name, Social Security number, driver's license, date of birth, And it was basically a, hey, don't fall for this.
Right.
I get probably 5 a week.
I'm in the Netherlands and I can't pick up. Please send me your bank account number so I can transfer all funds to you.
Oh, exactly.
You get those emails.
Or I've been robbed and I don't have any monies and I need you to transfer $1,000 to me. Yeah, exactly. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or fraud related questions, we'd be happy to help. Give us a call. It all starts with one call, and that's a call from you. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also search for your new home on our website. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to REO, FresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call in to us anytime, during the show, after the show, during the week, we'd love to hear from you. Well, are you selling your home? The cards just might be in your favor. And did you know that if you're a buyer, that you don't have to pay a penny to your agent at any point in time during the transaction? And if you are, you might want to stay tuned. 10 ways to increase the value of your home and 6 things you didn't think would add actual value to your property. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valley White Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valley White Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at REOFresnoHomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valley White Homes to work for you.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 Keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at PeteSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, if you're considering selling your home, and whether you're located in Fresno County or not, the cards just might be in your favor. Well, 6 years after prices collapsed, and boy did they, housing has begun to climb out of its proverbial hole. So what are the best moves that you can make next? Well, in this article that we're going to talk about real quick, and that Michelle and I are going to share with you, we're going to talk about what are some of the things that might motivate you, especially if you're not forced to move or forced to sell. First and foremost, there's never been a better time to sell.
If you're realistic, there's never been a better time to sell. Well, no, I mean, honestly, we're on here to educate the public about what is real out there.
Uh-huh.
And that would be my one caution, that if you think your house is still worth, the $500,000 you paid for it, we need to make sure we're running the numbers and looking at it and being real with ourselves.
Right.
That's all.
Well, because if you're not, then somebody's getting set up for failure.
But I see even those folks who bought their house for $15,000 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they still think their house should be worth the $300,000 it was a couple years ago.
But don't you think?
Come on, guys, let's get real.
Isn't that pretty common though?
It is.
I think I see that often.
I do too. And because we're sharing popular news and supported news that the market's moving in the right direction, which is what we all want to hear, everybody thinks that they should just sit and wait because, next month it'll be even higher. It's going to meet my need next month, maybe. Right. Really? We're not going $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month like we used to.
And when is it going to be acceptable? Nor do we want to go $50,000.
No, and we don't want to. So those people who are sitting there hoping that their price value, jumps through the roof next week. Right. Caution, people.
Yeah, the 14.1% that we saw statewide from end of third quarter 2011 to the end of third quarter 2012. Is not a number that we want to continue to see year over year.
Right. It's a false expectation, so let's be real with what is and go with what the market and your agent, your realtor has that education to tell you and help you with it. Yep. So listen to them.
Listen to your real estate professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you may not like what they hear, what they have to say, or you may not like what you hear.
Right.
But that's on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Trading up, move fast. Downsizing,
move slow. I found that interesting.
Yeah.
That I'd never heard that before.
Yep.
Move fast because you might lose opportunity if you're trading up. Mm-hmm. And then downsizing, go slow, take your time. You're in no hurry.
Right.
I like that.
Exactly.
I did like that because I think with the demographics of our retirees, and we just have a lot of folks who are getting ready to downsize. Take your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Find exactly what you want for the long term, and I think that's important.
What I think we're going to see, or what we've seen, or what most analysts have predicted, is that we're going to see a much more level pace in terms of appreciation over the next 5 years. And it's, if it's easily going to be less than 5% is what is predicted, mm-hmm. and what is typically normal is somewhere between 2.5% and 3% annually.
That's normal.
That's something I can stomach.
That's normal.
That's normal.
I'm just highlighting that is normal.
Is that normal?
Well, yeah. Even Ben, I think, would concur that is normal. When he comes on the show, we're going to find out for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You get right on that.
I am. Hey, he gets a weekly letter from me.
Yeah. Did you also know that if he gets a weekly letter?
They have me on stalker for Ben Bernanke.
Is that why I got a phone call from the Treasury?
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Did you also know that if you're a buyer in today's market, or in any market for that matter, that you don't need to pay your real estate agent a penny? And I brought this up.
I'm like, okay.
You're like, okay, well, you take that as being the gospel.
No, we work for free.
We
do not work for free.
We work for free.
Well, we do a lot, but not on purpose.
Until, well, you do. No,
whoa. I just work out of the kindness of my heart.
There you go. If you're a buyer and you have enlisted the services of a realtor to look for a property for you,
right.
It is a common misconception that Well, how much money do we need to pay you?
Nothing.
The realtor.
Zero.
Nothing. Yeah, commissions are pre-negotiated between the seller and the listing agent of every property. So when your agent, who is the selling agent,
Buying.
or the buyer's agent, represents you and submits an offer on that property, the offer gets accepted at the close of escrow. They get paid from the seller's proceeds.
Mm-hmm. And sellers out there, don't feel like you're getting gypped. Because guess what? When you bought the house, they paid the cost.
They paid as well, exactly.
So it all goes for full circle, and it all works itself out. And so it is even in that regard, because when you buy a property, you don't pay fees, but when you sell it, you do pay fees, and that's just how it rolls. And we agents are very aware of that and try to be respectful of all parties involved. And yeah, so if you're a buyer and you're not sure, call an agent. Let them help you. Let them be your advocate.
Yep. Exactly. And 6 things that you think are going to add value. I think this is really critical, especially right at the moment. 6 things that you think are going to add value to your property, but really aren't. Right?
This is so true.
Every homeowner has to do the standard as far as your routine maintenance, as far as upkeep and making sure that you keep your gingerbread.
Yeah, the fence isn't falling down.
Exactly. The sprinklers in the morning that you don't have to see this bubbling parade as far as the water shooting up 15 feet up in the air in 3 different spots in your front yard. Yeah, exactly. We all have to do that. But did you know that swimming pools, number 1, are one of those things that are nice to enjoy? But unfortunately, if you spent $40,000 on that beautiful swimming pool, rock feature, you'll be lucky to get half that in terms of return. Yeah, it is going to be less.
And in this market, we see a lot of issues with pools because of the foreclosure market. I don't see as many buyers wanting pools. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because we do live here in the valley where it's so gorgeous most of the year. Yeah.
Also, overbuilding for a neighborhood. So we use the term, if you overbuild for a neighborhood at a certain point, you're going to be building or overbuilding for intrinsic value, meaning that it makes you feel good, but really
that game room over the garage, that's an extra 5,000 square feet.
The 5,000
kind of takes you out of the neighborhood as far as comps.
Building, we call that the white elephant, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do. In fact, in showing a property this week, I was showing a large house, the largest house in a neighborhood, and it was obvious, and it was a very new construction, that even just these being built the way they were, there was a bunch of single stories, and then boom, you'd see this huge 2-story right in the middle of the block, and then boom, 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 nothing but single stories all the way around, and then boom, one more. And the buyer was like, I kind of don't want to be in the biggest house in the neighborhood. It kind of doesn't look like it fits.
Yeah.
And this was done by builders, so I found that interesting, too.
And interesting
buyers
enough,
feel certain things when they see a neighborhood, and that was one of the things she felt was, this is a big house in a little neighborhood.
Interesting enough, their motivation, whether it be based upon sound economic principle, was probably the best thing they could have done, right? Yeah, you don't want to live in the white elephant on the neighborhood because you might have the monies to get into it, but getting out of it might be a totally different story because the property still has to appraise and all those good things. Yeah, number 3, extensive landscaping. Just like rock waterfall features. Yeah, it is aesthetic. And trust me, home buyers appreciate a well-maintained and well-manicured and landscaped front or backyard. But when it comes right down to it, it's just going to make you feel good. It's going to make it more marketable.
We'll do inexpensive landscape. You can do inexpensive beautification when you put your house on the market. Planting flowers, things of that nature, making sure everything's clean and well manicured. But you don't have to go add olive trees and sago palms and add to the yard necessarily.
But that patio cover in the backyard that has the built-in barbecue and the built-in fireplace.
Not necessary.
Yeah, absolutely not necessary. It might be nice.
And just know, if you have it in your yard, it's because you like it and don't expect anyone else to feel the same way about it as you.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is your expectation.
Exactly. And not everybody's going to feel the same way. Exactly. High-end upgrades. Well, what could a high-end upgrade be? It could be stainless steel appliances.
Sub-zero refrigerator.
Sub-zero refrigerator.
Right.
It could be an upgraded carpet pad as far as the carpet's concerned, as well as an upgrade as far as the carpet's concerned.
Oh, you make me laugh.
Why?
Because I have a good friend who has a home, fairly new construction, a couple years old.
Yeah.
And he has a carpet pad that has its memory foam.
Yeah.
And when I walk in their house, I'm like, wow, feels great. But I kind of think he's not getting a dang dime out of it when he sells it. Because it's for his enjoyment.
Yeah, there you go.
His family loves it.
Yeah. Number 6, I found this really interesting. Invisible improvements. You might ask, so what exactly is an invisible improvement?
Well, I have Superman over in the corner. Can't you see him? Oh, that's right. He's invisible.
That's because you have multiple personalities.
Stop it.
And you see things.
Invisible improvement? What's an invisible improvement?
I see superheroes, right?
I would think an invisible improvement would be like insulation.
Okay. Insulation. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. New plumbing. Okay.
Hey, everybody wants a toilet that works, Greg.
Well, that's a given, but I'm saying new plumbing for whatever reason. Maybe there was a crack in the foundation and they had to, or
we took out the plastic. What do you call it? And now we've got copper tubing.
Yeah,
down there.
exactly. The best.
Who cares?
It's only the best.
Only the best for us.
But it's not going to be something that you really see or care about.
Right.
What about an upgraded HVAC unit? So the heating and cooling unit.
Yeah, people do, if it works, they're happy.
If it works, exactly. Yeah. I don't care how much you spend on it. I just care that it works.
How about a Rinnai? I don't mean Rinnai is a bad thing. Rinnai's a great thing.
No, exactly.
But it's a water heater.
Yeah.
And every house has a water heater.
Yep.
So whether you have a tankless water heater or a water heater, they just want their water hot.
Yeah.
And again,
you
appreciate it if you have it and you needed it and wanted it and desired it for some reason, but it can be a high-end upgrade that's invisible. Nobody cares about.
Correct. If you have a Rinnai and you actually jump in or you turn the shower on and it heats a whole lot quicker than what your traditional water heater did before, you might appreciate it a little bit more.
And generally, I don't let my buyers shower in houses they're looking at. I'm just saying. They really won't know.
Thank goodness.
Until the inspection report comes in some cases.
Thank goodness. Again, if you have any real estate, mortgage, or mortgage-related questions, or just questions on whether your agent actually allows you to shower when you go out for showings, give us a call. We'll tell you
They can shower before they come to showings.
I would hope so.
Just not in the homes we're showing.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's why you don't leave all of your buyers alone in their home when they're looking, right? Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website, check out our resources online. Go to FresnoHomes.com. Search for your new home as well. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords. KMJ, call Valley Wide.
Did you
to get connected.
Ready? You knew I wasn't ready.
You were snooping through the notes. Knock it off. To get connected to us anytime, we'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, I listed my home for sale about 45 days ago, and we accepted an offer from a buyer, and we've been in contract now for about 3 weeks. But I think I've changed my mind. What can I do? Well, when we return, we're going to take a couple listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, Brent from Selma. Brent.
Oh, Brent.
He's not going to call back if you make fun of his name.
Well, I thought you said Brunt, and I'm like, wait, it's not typed that way. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Well, Brent from Selma wants to know, I listed my home about 45 days ago, and recently we accepted an offer from a buyer, and we've been in contract now for about 3 weeks. But I think I've decided I don't want to sell our home. Yeah. Can I do that? And what are the repercussions if I decide to cancel escrow? Or can I even do that?
Okay, at the moment you can't do that. You can't. And you can't do that because you're in a legal contract saying, if I pay you X amount of dollars, you'll give me my house or that house. So it's a contract. I'll do this if you do this.
Correct.
So unless they, during their inspection period, the appraisal, unless there is a reason that comes up that causes a hiccup in that,
causes the buyer to not want to proceed.
Correct. Then you are in contract to sell your house because you've guaranteed that if they pay X, you give them the house.
If during, and let's go into a little greater depth. So if it's a standard California Association of Realtors residential purchase agreement, it's written into the contract standard unless it's modified or changed or agreed upon in any different way, that you have 17 days as a buyer to do all of your inspections as far as that property is concerned. So it's much easier within the first 17 days for a buyer to cancel a contract if they do not, for whatever reason, even if they change their mind. For any reason,
a buyer can cancel during that time, really. Yeah. Now, you being the seller, you can't automatically just, I've changed my mind.
You've agreed,
and they're doing their inspections, they're paying for their appraisal, they're doing all these things.
Right.
So if it comes back where there's a problem, they have the option to get out of the contract. But you put your house for sale, you took their deposit, everything is hinging on their inspections at this period.
So at this point in time, what Brent's got to do is,
he has to sit and wait, and when his agent feels it's the appropriate time, which is after the 17 days, they have the option to remove contingencies, which would be loan contingency, appraisal contingency, inspections. Yeah. If for some reason the buyer chooses not to release a contingency, he at that point, because they're saying, I don't want to do what you're asking. Okay, now you're in breach of contract. That's specified in the contract. At that point, you can cancel contract. But if you cancel contract before that, you are subject to a lawsuit.
Yeah. In other words, expect to go
you're liable at that point because they went in with good faith with earnest monies and have paid money to do their inspections and the processes and the appraisal and whatnot, and you're stuck like Chuck.
Yeah.
So be sure you want to sell it, and be sure that you understand what you're doing when you go into a contract. This isn't something to take lightly. Everything we touch is a legal document. Some have more repercussions than others, and I think that's something everybody needs to be aware of and make sure that they understand. Their agent is educating them to the best of their ability as they go through that paperwork. But every document you sign is a legal document saying something.
And that is one of the advantages of dealing with a real estate professional or realtor, is that everything is a legal document.
Correct.
That's protection.
Protection. Your agent should be protecting you. And if you're in a transaction and you're not sure, you want to go forward, you better have a conversation with your agent. You can't just go do whatever you want to do. You are in a legal binding contract. And so it's very important that you keep in good contact with your agent, whether you're a buyer or a seller.
Yeah.
To make sure that everything is going as it should be.
Communication is critical. Yep.
Absolutely.
Totally. Now, Steve from Fresno says, I want to write an offer on a home, but the home has water stains on the ceiling of one of the bedrooms. So how should I allow this to affect how I structure an offer? And what should I ask the seller to provide?
Okay, well, it all depends on your market. And honestly,
that's a huge thing to take into consideration.
Huge thing to take into consideration. You can ask for a roof cert in your contract.
And that's a roof certification is a certification that
2 years certifies that you're not going to have the roof cave in within 2 years.
Yep.
And a roofer actually goes out and checks it, a contractor.
And if repairs need to be made in order to certify the roof, the roofer at that point in time will make those repairs.
Correct. So it will weaken your offer, though, because it puts responsibility on the seller to do some kind of maintenance.
Yeah.
Right. I'll buy your house for X dollars if you give me the house on this date and you do XYZ. Okay, doing the XYZ from a seller's point of view right now in this market in the Fresno area doesn't generally make too much sense.
Well, there's nothing wrong with asking for it, but
sure.
But having said that, though, finish what you were going to say.
Well, my way of moving forward in some cases is going to be not to put it in the contract, have my client have their inspections. If there is a need for roof, we talk about it then and say, okay, here we certainly need a new roof, or we certainly need a further inspection to know what we're getting into. Are we comfortable moving forward, or do we need a roof cert to feel comfortable going forward, or are we getting out because it costs too much?
Sure.
But that gives my client all the options on their side.
So the word to our listeners is make sure that you do your homework and make sure that you understand. You don't want to price yourself or condition yourself out of an offer that is going to get a seller to look unfavorably upon your offer. You have that period of time, that 17-day contingency period, to do all inspections. Right. And if the repairs are too egregious, or let's say you want to ask the seller at that point to make repairs, then you do what you need to do at that point in time. Get out or ask.
And know what your agents are putting in those offers, because that's important. At the same time, agents, beware of how you're writing those offers, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's a bank or an individual. It's net. How much are they cashing out on that house?
And they're going to take the offer that gets them the highest net. Exactly. Again, if you have any real estate great job, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or questions regarding the information that Michelle and I share with you, or you'd just like to call and chat, give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958.
I have to call that guy back. Stop it.
Yeah, you do. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website online at fresnohomes.com. Search for your new home or your next home. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime. Again, to chat if you'd like. A big thank you to my special guest host, Michelle Pettis-Cavalli. Michelle is a licensed realtor with Valley White Homes here in Fresno.
And sane.
I
just want to make that
at the
clear.
moment. Yes. Big thank you to Big Johnny B behind the mics. And I didn't just call you fat when I said big, okay? I'm just wanting to clarify that.
Wow.
Thanks so much, Johnny. Great job. Happy Sunday, buddy. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market. These guys can't stop laughing, can they? So we can help bring you
back home.
Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday, right here from 7 to 8 a.m. on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.